This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, journalist, and Alan Cockerel, comedian. You can tweet us at Frank on the Radio or email us via the Absolute Radio website. But you know what? Don't text us today because we are not live.
No.
We are not live, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you. Sorry, I touched the wrong fader. What? Why, you're not interested in that, are you? No. Get back to your bacon. So, yes, the reason we're pre-recording it is I'm not going away or anything. It's just that I've listened to it a couple of weeks ago going out. It was so brilliant. I want to listen to it again, yeah.
Oh, I believe you said a couple of weeks ago, your exact words were, I envy our listeners.
I do. And I'm very much looking forward to, as I can sense myself smiling at home.
Yeah.
Even now.
Well, that's nice.
Not that there's anything funny happening, but I just know there will be.
Oh, yeah, there's a definite sense
I say,
of
well, I mean suspect. Oh, it's lovely.
I quite like the pre-record atmosphere. It's a bit like, remember the last day of term and everyone would wear mufti?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
we
mufti.
never called it mufti. That's a modern phrase to me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's something I've learned since being
But
a
it's
grown-up.
not modern, is it? It's old.
I think it's really old,
old-fashioned.
but in Yorkshire we called it non-uniform day.
Non-uniform.
yeah. And,
So practical, the Yorkshire
very
people.
dour, down-to-earth
I
use
don't
of
know,
language.
it could
Not have any of
suggest-
these fancy mufti ways, okay?
But couldn't it suggest that you're going to adopt an alternative approach to life, non-uniform?
Yeah.
Good. And that's where some of the children went off the rails on that particular Friday.
It was the one day of the week the people from Yorkshire expressed their individuality. Having sort of been trapped in the L.S. Lowry painting world. I know that's Lancashire, but...
It is.
Well, they
You
sell
know.
it like it is, apparently.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's, hear all, see all, say nout.
Yeah.
I
Eat
believe
all,
it.
drink all, pay out.
Oh, I thought it was
the
where now.
Yorkshireman's-
I can't
That's where
think-
I've been
No,
going
no.
wrong.
I can't think of
It's the
another
very-
one.
It's the Yorkshireman's
Grow a
advice.
moustache, wear a floral shirt, come out. Did they say that?
That's me today.
Come out
You
or go on QI if you're going to wear the floral shirt.
Oh, yes.
Love
Big
a
time.
floral shirt.
Lot of
Can
that.
I say, on the subject of... no, I won't use that as a segue. But
Yeah.
Alan spoke, I thought, recklessly of growing a moustache on the lap. But lo and behold,
Yeah.
it's... I wouldn't say it's there, but
No.
it's...
Is that what that is?
It's what they call
coming.
there or thereabouts, isn't it?
I
I
thought...
think we're already fans of that turn
Frank,
of phrase.
I was in that awkward thing where do I say something?
No, you don't have to.
I mean, I quite like
I'll tell you
it.
what, people were really avoiding my eye contact earlier when I had left some sort of, what's it called, handlebar style droopy.
Well, you're saying handlebar, but what you're signifying is a Viva Zapata.
Oh, is it?
Handlebar sort of goes up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it goes
Oh, I
onto
should have
the
called it
cheek.
a
Yours
Viva
is more
Zapata.
Tom of Finland. Google it.
Oh, well, I've
Oh, no, I don't
trimmed
need to.
off.
I'm not Googling Tom of Finland again.
But it's
I've
one of
wasted hours.
It's one of the
How do
celebrations.
they
of-
breathe in those trousers? Sorry.
It's one of the celebrations of having kind of a non-uniform requiring job, isn't it? Like if I have a
mufti
moustache,
job.
who cares? Yeah, I've got a mufti job.
Why
What?
out?
It doesn't matter,
What
does
was
it?
the reason behind the tash?
Well, remember my wife said to me...
Oh, the wife,
I
yes.
think you might like good...
Yeah.
She's since retracted that comment, I must say.
How do you feel? I feel it's going quite well.
I actually said this morning, do you know what? I'd be fine if you just shaved the lot. And I thought, no, I'm going to keep it now. Be careful what you wish for.
I'll tell you what I like
I'm a
about
walking
it.
parable. That's
Yeah.
what I am.
I like the fact that you could have done this in November and raised a lot of money for charity, but
Not a bit of it. Not
let's
a
face
bit.
it. I mean, I think we all know that charity now is probably just about topped up, got enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we can all relax on the charity front.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I've got some top lip news.
Have you?
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got some hair lip, but I'll save that.
I tell you what, my child has seemingly, we haven't had it tested. I think he's got a cold sore.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, I've been kissing him on a regular basis during the growth of this phenomenon. And I, as a 60-year-old man, have never had a cold sore in my life.
Right.
And to get one at this age, you know, they say that all my new experiences are all done and dusted. I think not.
Yeah.
I think I could end up with my first ever.
I don't think you will,
Cold
though.
sore.
I don't think you will.
Why not?
Isn't it about some kind of bacteria that's in you?
Is it
you
genetic?
Take that back.
You get it or you don't.
Really?
Yeah, I
What,
think so.
if you kiss someone
Some
with a
people
cold
don't
sore...
get them.
Yeah. I mean, this is not medical advice coming from me.
No.
As you say,
Is
a
that right,
comedian.
Al? Well, that's heartening.
Yeah, I don't want listeners
I don't
thinking,
get them,
Well,
just
I don't.
FYI.
I once took a septic foot to Harry Hill
Did you?
in Edinburgh, yeah, so I'm happy to mix medicine and mirth.
Oh, good. It's one of your mottos, isn't it?
Well, it's on the bench.
Yeah.
It's on the motto's bench. It's not in the first
So many,
team.
haven't you?
Oh, God, I've got to...
So have you got any tingling, Frank?
Well, you know what? Of course, once I realised that it was a possibility, I got tingling.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
got psychosomatic tingling.
yeah.
Which
One of my
who
favourite
need-
albums.
Yeah, it is. But what happened to
Be
Van
Flynn at
Morrison?
his best.
No, it's I'm not a big fan of the cold, so I don't know if anyone is really. I don't want a top lip that looks like the roadkill version of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
Which is what it usually is. It's like all pink and then one glowing red thing.
I would stay in if I got a cold sore. I wouldn't leave the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you never had one either?
No.
I thought they
not
were.
me.
I thought
you
they were
not
a
had one, Al?
commonplace.
No, I
Then,
thought that was
great
some-
news. We can snog without fear of
I mean,
infection.
I got asked that before joining the show. Isn't that not a prerequisite of all on-air talent?
I'm not.
That's what I was told.
I'm not part of the
vetting
the
process.
pre-team grilling. No, I mean I may have hinted that the cold sore thing was a good idea to ask, but I wasn't.
Oh, well, that's
draconian.
that very literally.
He does what he wants, largely.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a bit concerned about it, to be honest. So I tell you what, I
Well,
watched.
does Kath get them? Sorry to interrupt, Frank.
No, Kat doesn't get him either, so she's in a panic because, as she said to me, I've been sharing my lip seal with him.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, we've moved on, haven't we, since the 80s when we were all afraid of hypodermic syringes and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Now it's balm.
Yeah.
We've got balm anxiety.
With an L. You say
Yeah.
it with the L.
I
don't
do,
you?
I give it the L.
Yeah.
Do you know? Do you say balm?
I do, yeah.
No, I think then a balm pot. And I know, and the thing is, you can get a balm pot, of course.
You can.
It's not always in a tube or
So
a
do you
lipstick
go
thing.
balmy or balmy?
No, balmy's with an R, I think.
Okay.
But if the weather is...
Depending on...
No, except
yeah,
if there's
of course.
with an L.
Well, what about Paul Robeson's There Is a Balm in Gilead? You know that one, do you?
I do not know that one.
There is a balm in Gilead. Is it ringing any bells?
No, not
Okay.
yet. I often
Apparently
think there should be a crib sheet that goes with this show. where people
I'm just
can-
thinking how much I envy our listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I am our listener, and I'm almost certainly singing along with the Robesonian activity. No, I think he says there's a balm in Gilead that makes the wounded whole.
Catchy.
Yeah.
We've gone a bit Robert Louis Stevenson.
Which could be lip seal, let's face it. It doesn't exactly make it whole, but it can take away a chap. And I haven't took away a chap since I had the Collar Your Own Big Tom of Finland book. Is it worth a buy?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
I'll tell you what I watched this week. I might have even mentioned this film last week, so I watched it over 3 nights. It was The Incredible Journey.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
3 nights you watched it. Was
Yeah.
it like Nosferatu?
Well, I watch it with Bars, and we don't allow him more than 40 minutes of screen time a day.
Okay.
Because I don't want him to become one of those zombie kids just sitting
Yeah.
looking at an iPhone or an iPad all day.
I like the fact that when he's an adult, he'll go to the cinema with a lady, and after 40 minutes, he'll say, "Okay, I think we better move on now."
Yeah.
He'll get used to those increments, which
Well,
I
what
quite like.
Do you still get an intermission if it's a long film? I don't think you do. It used to be a lovely thing at the cinema.
Yeah.
Last time I remember that was my parents took me to see Gone with the Wind
Oh,
back in the
goodness.
70s, and there was an intermission.
I remember there was one in Cheyenne Autumn.
Right.
Remember her? And it was quite brisk. There was people riding past cacti, and a couple of Mexicans in bandoleros, and ping, intermission suddenly came up like that. And, it was all ice cream and sausage in a roll in a box for me.
Nice.
Yeah. I think I had a Kia-Ora.
Whose is that?
I don't know, but I can
think
hear...
it might be mine.
I can hear music. Is it Heavenly Choir?
I won't get it. Shall I get it? No,
I
I'll turn it
don't get it.
You won't get it.
I do apologise.
That's okay.
Whoever that is, I'm no longer going to speak to them.
It's a lovely ringtone. It's got an element of me, a swan.
You once called it Cliff Richard's car alarm.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Have you gone to airplane mode, or did you just...
Well, I normally do, but I was in a rush because of the builders.
just then, because it may ring again.
Yes, I've turned it off
okay.
now.
I'll tell you what I love about airplane
Apologies,
mode.
everyone.
Okay, it's accepted.
Thank you.
Taken, yeah.
I love the aftermath of airplane mode.
Which is what?
I always put it off, airplane mode, thinking there will be a text or email here that will change my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always used to say, when I lived with David Baddiel, whenever the phone rang, I'd say that'll be Val Parnell for me. Val Parnell was okay. He used to produce Sunday Night at London Palladium. I think he'd been dead for some years. But
excuse me.
It seemed to me like the ultimate exciting phone call to get. And I always think there'll be something waiting for me at the end of the airplane mode.
There would have been a lady saying, "I've got Mr. Parnell for you."
Yes, exactly.
Slightly 1940s voice. Your manager still does that.
Does he?
Are you not aware of this? They'll say, are we allowed to say his name?
Oh, I should think
It's
so.
called John. Someone will say, "I've got John for you," and then you have to wait 20 minutes whilst they locate him.
Yes, he hasn't got time to actually phone me
No,
himself.
he can't do the dials.
So anyway, I was watching Incredible Journey, and not made in 1963. And what the great thing about the fact that it was made in 1963 was a journey in 1963 was a physical activity. It involved mileage.
Yeah.
Nowadays, a journey is some sort of emotional...
Yeah.
You cannot have a meeting
It's like a song on the X Factor, isn't it, nowadays? Journey. Oh,
everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have meetings about doing documentaries, and people will say to me, "Yeah, but what's your journey going to be?" And I reach for my 60-plus bus pass and say, "Well, see, I can do all the zones."
But this is an actual journey.
This is an actual.
Yeah.
It has a measurable mileage. That's how I define the journey.
There's animals in it. I mean, it's the dream film.
Got to talk to the accountant about you today. Measurable mileage.
Well, I'm so sick of the J word in people saying, it's a real journey for me. Was it? That, I think, is always the best response.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
So are you aware of The Incredible Journey, Alan? You're looking at me.
Only insofar as that you recommended it to me last week, and I put it into my notes in my phone.
Oh, good.
In fact, I think I wrote An Incredible Journey film recommended by Frank.
Oh, lovely.
It's a dog and two cats starring.
It's two dogs and a cat.
Two dogs and a cat.
I mean, I don't expect that from our dog correspondent. Goodness me, what an error. It's an English bull terrier is wonderful.
Oh, lovely breed.
Do you think that's a lovely breed? I'll tell you what I always think of.
God's children.
With the English bull terrier, they once had a series of historical heads on the back of cereal packets when I was a kid. And you cut them out and you had to... I remember I had Henry VIII.
I bet that looked attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, you put it on like some sort of mask.
No, you didn't wear it. You cut it and you folded it and constructed it into a head.
Oh, okay.
But whenever it's done with I've seen it done with cardboard heads before. We've got a cardboard Buzz Lightyear head in our house.
Sounds fun.
And it's like very obviously it's very block-like, lots of straight lines and edges. Yeah. And it seems to me that the English Bull Terrier, that's what they've done with the head.
Yes. Yeah.
And also...
Patch on the eye as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also a tightness of the skin across the cereal box head.
Yeah.
It looks to me like a cost-cutting exercise, the whole... There isn't quite enough skin.
Listen,
cover.
I'm with you. I would say it looks unfinished.
It's stretched too tightly.
I know. It's okay.
Yeah. It's going pink in parts where the surface is actually breaking through the pelt.
Don't get it in the sun.
And to think that moments ago I was worried about you spoiling the film for me.
No, I've spotted an entire dog breed.
Yeah.
There'll be people at home, of course, who are English Bull Terrier. And the way people get about dogs, no disrespect, hasn't company accepted. It's interesting.
Frank, am I in the dog chair now?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're totally in the dog chair. I'm sorry about that hair.
Anyway.
Go sit in the dog chair.
I understand your reservations about the breed.
Yes.
Just because I agree with you. I mean, it's a taut animal, isn't it?
So
But I like that in an animal.
I think it's just the skeleton has got a bit too big for the skin.
Okay.
But I know the feeling.
Almost like they've tumble dried their skin and then put it back on. And
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
taken
Lovely
10%
metaphor,
off.
lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a bit
Image
too tight.
there, Al.
They do a lot of tumble drying, shrinking.
So there's him, and
Sebastian.
there's a Labrador, who
yeah.
obviously is the Rock, the solid character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a Siamese cat,
Yeah.
which they love the Siamese cat, the Disney world.
Yeah.
Well, they were very popular at that time, 60s and 70s.
We are Siamese, if you please.
Okay.
What?
Well, I'm just saying, looking back, that song was...
Yeah, they weren't conjoined, the cats.
From Siam.
They're all right. They were separate entities.
No, I just remember being sung in a
If the
slightly...
cats had been conjoined, that would have been... it's a scene you'd not see anymore.
No.
But
I
now,
just remember a
thank God.
slightly offensive accent. That's all when it was sung.
Well, I think you could be Siamese without offending anyone, okay?
Okay.
I think that was it pre-Thailand? When did Thailand start?
Oh, I don't know. When it all kicked
it's
off.
getting harder and harder to write the show notes on this.
I'm really missing the listeners because we'd have
I
had
know, they would
10
they would have known
answers
everything.
to the time-honoured quiz question: when did Thailand start? As if it was like someone coming in for a screening of Thailand. When did it start? Sorry, I've just missed the first 5 minutes, mate. You'll be all right.
40
The
minutes worth.
sequel to Siam.
Which brings us neatly back to The Incredible Journey.
Yes, but I think the obsession with Siamese cats at Disney, I'm guessing there was some a sort of salesman. When you go in a hotel room, lots of British sort of middle to lower grade hotel rooms have got the Corby trouser press.
Well, Al knows about that.
And obviously there was some character who went around selling those and just managed to sell them in massive chains of hotel. I think some chancellor from Siam turned up at the Disney things and said, look, if you're going to put cats... I'm not doing the voice. If you put...
We're glad.
If you're going to put
But he did
cats
say,
in,
if you please, I believe,
yeah.
when he came in.
Yeah. I've got some cats, or just they'll fill all your, tick all the boxes. Just use these cats, if you please. And I'll be on my way if you don't, please.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Very well
I thought
reenacted,
they'd come
if you
in
notice.
when Emily's phone went off. I thought they'd turned up, but no, it was a false alarm. It wasn't an alarm, it was a ringtone. You know what I mean? Don't be pedantic. Why not? I love it.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
I'm in the great tradition of this show's late reviews. I'm talking about the 1963 version of The Incredible Journey
Yes.
in
And then
detail.
We were talking about... I asked you off air about some of the Siamese songs.
Yes, well, I think
We
there
Are
was
Siamese, If You Please,
Lady and the Tramp,
Lady and the Tramp. And there was another one from The King and I.
March of the Siamese Children. Get your ringtone on for backing. But I once, in my drinking days, I
saw your Brynner play it on stage, thank you.
did you?
Yes.
Lovely. I saw
Weird moment in the show.
I worked with
That's quite a thing to see.
I worked with Yul Brynner's former PA, and he gave me a photograph.
Work with them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if he's classed as one of the all.
I think so.
But he gave me a photo that Yul Brynner had took of his daughter with a big fly on her nose. Still got it.
Really?
That's a good
Still got it.
photo.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll put it on
It's
social
better than
media.
my-
You'll be gagging to see, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I should think.
Frank, it's better than my 2 Emma love F. Bruno, which
Yeah.
I got.
F. Bruno.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Anyway.
So, yes, I was in a public house called the Dock. I was very drunk, and I saw Kenny Ball and his jazzmen. Just not playing, just relaxing. And if you remember Kenny Ball, his big hit was Midnight in Moscow, which was once played on Radio Throstle at the West Bromwich Albion PA station. And it was played, we were playing Dinamo Bucharest, and they hadn't got the Romanian national anthem, so they played Kenny Ball's Midnight in Moscow as an approximation. There was some confusion, but anyway, one of his other hits was a jazz version of March of the Siamese Children, which I sang with my trousers and underpants around my ankles for the entertainment of him and his jazzmen. You got to imagine it's the jolting rhythm which caused the problem. They found it initially entertaining, and then I don't think it would be an overstatement to say they were repulsed.
You see, it's a long song as well.
I wonder where that was going, that sentence.
No, but Frank,
I didn't do the whole
what
thing.
breaks it up, if I may say?
I spared them the bridge.
I'm very relieved to hear that.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh, my heavens.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make about the whole incredible journey.
And that was quite a journey.
It's a really pre-record than many, isn't it?
It was, thank God we can edit the smut out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't do the edit? Okay. Sorry, guys. But I'll be enjoying it.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
There's a remake, a modern-day remake of The Incredible Journey, and I'm going to go straight to it. It's got SDS problems.
What's that?
Scrappy-Doo syndrome.
Oh, lovely.
So what they've done...
I love this.
It was all done with commentary before. It was quite realistic, the dogs and the cats.
I was going to ask who's in it.
Now there's people doing the voices, though.
Oh, are there?
So now the animals speak.
Oh.
So are there famous people, like Justin Bieber is the Siamese?
I'll tell you who does it. Michael... Who was the guy who got... Is this a young heartthrob? He was in an American sitcom and he got very poorly.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox is in it. Ironically, playing a dog.
Lovely.
He should have been in Fox and Hound. That would have confused things.
That's a good point.
With Rufus Hound, ideally, just to really... on the casting, they're saying, oh, no, hold on, we're going to have to stop. Who's what on this? Anyway, so that's it. They've sold out, and whereas it felt like a documentary, the original.
Yeah.
Now and they don't even, they're not doing the mouths. The mouths remain the same. It's like their telepathy.
Oh.
It's like War of the Worlds with the Martians.
And have they gone for the same breeds?
They have gone for the same breeds, but can I tell you, originally, this was the name of the dogs. The English Bull Terrier was Bodger. Tau was the cat. Right. And Luath was the Labrador.
Quite extraordinary. It's always biblical.
Now, with the English Bull Terrier is called Chance.
Okay.
This is before he started winning Grammy Awards. Shadow is the...
It's all got a bit gladiators ready.
It has, yeah. And Sassy is the cat.
Oh.
They've lost
on 0898.
They've lost the whole, martial arts sort of oriental
Sassy
Tao.
was someone you visited back in the 80s, Frank.
Yeah, it was Tao, and now it's Sassy.
Oh.
I don't like sound of Sassy.
It's really let the whole thing down. I'd like to have been at that meeting when they said, we can't stick with these names, can we?
No.
What about Sassy?
They'd obviously been to Spearmint Rhino the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
He's in it. He's in it, Spearmint Rhino. Do you remember the famous story? I say famous, 4 people have heard it, about Fawlty Towers. When they did the remake in America, they had a meeting about it, and the Americans who wanted to make it said, we absolutely love it, but we don't like the Basil character, he's too aggressive. So they dropped Basil Fawlty.
No.
And the hotel was run by Manuel.
Really?
Yeah. I think it ran 3 episodes before they pulled it.
Yeah.
But I think this is in the same league. Tao to Sassy?
No.
No. It's not Tinder.
It's not Tinder.
No.
I just
I
thought it
don't
was a
know,
strange
it's
bit of football commentary there. Tout to Sassy, cleverly.
So it's not Tinder. It is. It's a goal. Oh, if only that's what had happened.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cockerel. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. But don't text today, please, because we have messed about with the space-time continuum and we are not actually live. I'm going to be straight with you. Sorry, Ken.
It's a long way of saying it's a pre-record.
Sorry, Ken is what Adele shouted at the Grammys at one point, which really made me laugh for some reason. I don't want to know who he is. I like not knowing.
No, we don't want to know about Ken.
Anyway, on the we were talking about, if you recall, we're not going to do another hour on the incredible journey and how it's changed.
No.
But do you remember a few weeks ago I spoke of Andrew's liver salts?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating combo in that it was a laxative if you had 2 spoonfuls in water. And if you had 1 spoonful in water, it was, and I quote, a refreshing drink. There's so few laxatives where you can just tweak the dosage and suddenly it's party time.
Well,
almost never with a laxative, I find.
Well, I don't know.
1 spoonful away from drama.
Exactly.
Didn't we get some text saying that it's now marketed as Andrew's salts? They've taken the liver out.
So they've gone down the medical route, not the refreshing.
I think they took off this the thing saying no longer recommended as a refreshing drink.
No, they took the refreshing drink thing. Well, I'll tell you what else I noticed.
It's not stopped you though, has it? I bet you still have it.
I think it would still work. I mean, don't quote me on this in case it's lethal. Or you find yourself up to your neck in your own silage.
I like the idea of you as a child eating raw sausages and drinking Andrew's liver salt.
Exactly. And then there was some sterilised milk in lemonade was the other thing. So it made white lemonade.
Powdered egg.
Yes, no powdered egg. I never had that. Anyway, so I was in the chemist. And
congratulations.
Don't ask.
Oh, we won't.
I was in the chemist and I saw some Andrews. Andrew's salts.
Oh yeah.
Now they're no longer in the tin, are they? We established
that. Plastic.
They were in the
container.
Ovaltine's tin before.
And I tell you what it says on the front. It says fast and effective relief from upset stomach.
Oh, okay.
Now, I thought, isn't that typical of the modern world? They just don't want to face facts. The upset stomach.
We know what you mean.
Yeah. Whereas it used to say on the front, and I quote, Andrew's liver salts for inner cleanliness, which is an expansive idea, which seems to cover the physical and the psychological and the spiritual, maybe.
They've gone a bit MBS, mind, body, spirit.
They have, yeah. But now it's upset stomach. Shut up.
But that's quite a 70s concept, the upset stomach.
Do
I mean,
you
that's
think
what
so?
your mum would ring in. Oh, she's not coming in, she's got a bit of an upset stomach.
Yeah, yes.
Tummy ache, upset stomach.
Maybe you're right. Anyway, that is 2 things. The modernisation of The Incredible Journey and that other incredible journey, Andrew's liver salts.
I don't like a modernisation on the whole, though.
No.
I don't like... Are you familiar with the original Parent Trap?
No.
With Hayley Mills?
Oh, yes. That was one of your Disney live actions.
Fabulous film. And then they did a modernisation with Lindsay Lohan, your friend, Frank.
I do. I mean, I love anything with Lilo.
Well, I love Lilo, but I mean, this, come on. I mean, Mills is up there for me. And it just felt like a slight vandalism of the past, really. I liked it, but it wasn't quite the same.
I always felt with the Disney live-action films, it was a bit like a fall live album. It's like they were running a bit short, and they said, we need to put a film out. Oh, we haven't got time for all that drawing. Phone Hayley Mills. You know what I mean? It was, they were never quite, they weren't up there with your Snow Whites and all that.
And they do the American versions as well. You're a fan of that. What was that series that was out very recently that you loved? Broadchurch, Frank.
Oh, yeah.
I know you saw that very recently.
I did.
They did an American version of that.
Oh, also with David Tennant.
Who we love, but it wasn't very good.
Wasn't
Grace
it?
Point. I'm afraid not.
Yeah, but they told me that about episode 2 of Broadchurch, and might I say
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2, sorry, yes.
It was pretty ropey, actually.
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, you loved it, didn't you?
People... Oh, people.
Yeah, we've all got different
They think
tastes,
this, and they think that, and they think nothing.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
I was very disappointed in the modern-day remake of The Incredible Hulk, with Eric Bana. It's not even that modern now, it's a while ago, but I remember going along to it because he's good in other stuff, and I was a big fan of the old Hulk, Lou Ferrigno and Dr. David Banner. I mean,
well,
brilliant.
did they only pick Eric because of his surname?
Maybe.
Nominative determinism.
Maybe.
Dr. David Banner is the Hulk.
But then they went and spoiled it by having a lot of CGI when he was the Hulk. Whereas what you really want is somebody like Lou Ferrigno, like a Mr. Universe type, 6'5", deaf. Deaf, isn't he?
Andre the Giant. He's your ideal.
That sort of guy. Painted green, like visible painted green.
Frank and I are big fans of the frayed gene work of the Hulk. Did they have the frayed
think they
gene?
did, but again, it looked a little bit cartoony rather than kind of...
Well, I don't mind that. He's a comic book character.
Intact button?
I believe, if I remember rightly, I think he went for elastication. I think he was called Bruce Banner in the comics.
Bruce Banner.
And then they changed it.
To Dr. David Banner.
Yeah, Bruce.
I think in my childhood, the series starring Bill Bixby, they changed it to Dr. David Banner.
That's right.
What an odd change.
It is odd.
It's like the Elephant Man.
Yes.
They call him John Merrick.
That's right.
Yes.
And he was actually called Joseph. What kind of a change is that?
Weird.
If I'm going to do an edit on the Elephant Man, I'm not going to start with the name.
Also, I might branch out a bit.
Yeah, but we're thinking, oh no, we can't have him called John.
Keep the
or
initials,
Joseph, rather.
Keep the initials the same, because he's got like a handkerchief with his initials on
The
it.
bag.
Joseph, no one's going to believe that.
Weird.
I can't get it. We're lucky they didn't change it to the Rhino Man or something. Like that, the Spearmint Rhino Man. Yeah, that would have been terrible. So I'll tell you what I caught a little of. The Grammys.
Oh, well,
The Grammys.
Yeah,
one of your heroes was at the Grammys, but we'll get to that.
What, CeeLo? Oh, man.
He's not called CeeLo anymore, Frank. What's he called?
Isn't he?
What's he called, Frank?
In case you don't know, one of my slight obsessions is Gunals Barkley, who I always thought was a band, but really it's CeeLo Green's alter ego.
Yes.
Now he hasn't exactly. He has changed, but it's a development.
I mean, it's quite dramatic.
No, but best of all,
makeover.
What I'm delighted to hear about CeeLo is he likes a pun.
Yes.
Oh.
Because he's now calling himself Gnarly Davidson.
Gnarly Davidson.
Yeah.
You could say.
He arrived on a Gnarly Davidson.
Oh, did he?
Yes. Which is one of the greatest pictures I've ever seen.
Has he got sponsorship?
Well,
I wonder if he's doing it hoping for freebies. If he calls himself...
He wants a bike.
Gnarly Davidson, he'll get a
How much
Harley
are these
Davidson.
bikes?
Well, they're expensive, but he's not
Doing
short.
all right. Crazy, didn't
I was
Really
thinking about
short.
it just the other day when I arrived at an awards do in my alter ego, Alan Brugini.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Just saying if there's any...
And I arrived at...
Here we go. Here we go.
Frank Andrews liver salts. Hyphenated, obviously.
Yeah.
Are you one of the Berkshire liver salts? I am, sir. Yes.
So, we should have said, I've got a bit Italian. Joe Dolce.
Is this lovely? What's the matter, you? Gotta know respect. That's what they should have said when CeeLo turned up.
Oh, why you looking so sad?
Yeah.
He had 2 outfits at the the day before the Grammys. Did you see that outfit?
Was that the gold outfit?
No.
No,
3
that was the
gold.
black one, wasn't
there was
it?
a Darth Vader outfit.
Oh, yes, I like that one.
Yeah.
Well, we
That
say
was
Darth
good.
Vader. It was essentially a black zip-up tunic. The sort of thing your mum makes
No,
for a
but
fancy
did he
dress.
have like a shiny dome thing, or is that
Yes.
just his head?
Like a
He had a-
strange sort of pate and helmet
A
thing
pewter
going on.
head.
It
Yeah.
looked great.
But he's got LED lights in his head now. I mean, is that
Yeah.
a permanent thing?
I love it. CeeLo is such an eccentric.
You think?
I think he is. I like that. But the gold suit,
Well, I mean, don't get me started on the gold. There's so much to discuss.
He looked like, when people talk about the love child of something, because it's a cross of two things, He looked like the love child of Gru from Despicable Me and the World Cup. If they'd got together and practiced something illegitimate, that is what would have come out.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Now, CeeLo.
He's not here, is he?
We're saying a gold suit, Al.
Yeah.
It was actually a tunic.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
He didn't go... I thought he might, get a waistcoat out. No. It was a tunic, which is why I had a sort of Emperor Ming at a wedding.
Well, he was a rectangle with his round head coming out the top.
Right. And I did think of you, Al, because I know often you're quite obsessed with the footwear under the fancy dress.
I'm interested, yeah.
Gold spray paint Reebok?
Do you think that's what it was?
I wish he'd gone for a black slip-on like people do in fancy dress, not gone the whole hog. It's interesting because Rihanna was photographed with a bejewelled hip flask. Yeah. And he looked a bit like a hip flask in that tunic because he was like a rectangle with his swigging neck on the top.
He had a rounded collar.
Yeah.
And a little popper on the side.
Do you know much about CeeLo the man?
Do any of us know much about
Is he called CeeLo?
Isn't he?
Is it like J-Lo? Is his name?
Like
is he called
Christopher Lowe or something?
Yeah, like Cecil London. I'd be very delighted to find you was called Cecil London.
He is a man of many a nom de plume, isn't he? We've got CeeLo Green, Gnarls Barkley, Gnarly Dick. Do you think he's signing on? That's what I'm wondering.
Maybe he's known locally for having a very low ceiling.
Yeah. That's how it started.
Yeah. That's why he has to wear that dome. He's banging his head on the light fittings.
He made a statement. Did you read his statement?
I should hope he did.
He said, look at me, you did this to me, CeeLo Green, you, category C swear word, idiot. But I like it, I'm actually better than you, than everyone. A kamikaze upon you, vengeance is mine, saith Gnarly Davidson. P.S. Technology-Jesus. Saves.
Jesus saves. Like
Technology-Jesus saves.
Yeah.
Well, you follow the Nazarene, you're like that.
I follow the Nazarene, I'm not following CeeLo Green. The man's talking gibberish, what's wrong with him? He is. I think he's like Shirley Eaton in Goldfinger. He hasn't left a space for his skin to breathe.
I was worried
Painted
about
himself
that.
gold, and now he's gone to his brain.
Oh, dear.
Do you know what I thought let him down?
What?
With the gloves. They were very joke shop quality.
Oh, really?
You know when you get it in the packet and it's designed for one wear only? I didn't like the gloves.
No.
They're very threadbare.
But I did like the pun. Gnarly Davidson.
Yeah, that is good.
What he should have done, he should have worn a false belly and called himself Beyonce Gnarls.
Not sure he would need to wear the
I was
false
just
belly.
thinking he doesn't need the false belly.
I think he's doing fine.
In fact, I think he might be doing quite a good job of making the best of what he's got, as it were. Like, if you're CeeLo Green...
Really?
If you're CeeLo Green and you have to go somewhere as fancy dressed...
You call him CeeLo. I call him Sir Walter Gnarly. Gnarl Edmonds, I call him.
When he's going fancy dress, he sort of has to go, weird creature from Star Wars bar kind of thing, because, handsome leading man is a bit too much of a jump if you get...
So you're saying his fear of getting into the traditional tux...
I wonder.
Made him put on some outfit that looks like Mother of the Bride at Dictator's wedding.
Makes him look like a sort of a pepper pot in some way, yeah.
But that's no bad thing.
But
fashion book.
He's still done the classic celebrity thing, I hear, of writing a children's book.
Even
he.
Here we go.
He's calling himself Roald Gnarl.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
So, we're at the Grammys.
There's an excellent...
She's a lovely old lady.
There's an excellent photograph from the Grammys of Adele standing next to Jay-Z in the newspaper, and Adele's in quite a beautiful sort of green ball gown.
It's lovely.
Jay-Z is in a sort of a blue tux, and underneath, I think it was the Daily Mail, it said Adele, brackets, left, close brackets, and Jay-Z. So I was reading it going, Adele and Jay-Z, which is which?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful
I'd fancy my chances in an identity parade. If Adele had broken into my house the night before, I reckon I'd spot her.
No CeeLo in the picture.
No CeeLo.
No, I think, again, I fancy my chances of identifying CeeLo.
I think he was getting changed into one of his other characters.
He was schwitzing under that gold makeup.
Is he?
Oh, it was all coming through.
What did you make of the whole Adele thing?
I'm not so sure.
You know, I can't possibly accept this award.
We should say what it was. She got, was it 5 awards?
Yes.
And then she broke 1 in 2 to give to Beyonce.
Well, they say that was a happy accident.
Do they?
That she didn't physically break into. Apparently it's
fell apart.
in the film Mean Girls.
All right.
Yes.
Some girl
Lohan.
wins...
Lindsay Lohan.
I'm losing track of her career.
Sorry, Mean Girls correspondence. Is it Lindsay Lohan? Thank you.
Yeah.
She breaks up a tiara and gives it to all the other girls in the beauty pageant to show that we're all winners.
Oh, okay.
That's what Frank did with the Sony Award.
Well,
I know you didn't.
I didn't actually do that. But, you know, you can have...
You didn't.
You can have number 8.
You did with your love.
My love?
Yeah. Well, I felt you did it in a loving way.
Yes, I did,
Shared the love.
I wonder what you were hinting at.
So suspicious.
Sorry, Ken. Well, this was the thing. She's a mega talent, Adele. Does she do live? On 2 big occasions now, she's had the high-profile live song. One, if you remember, a microphone fell on the piano strings.
Oh, yeah.
And now...
she stopped the performance. And she
George
said,
Michael, the George Michael tribute. Turned out to be Car Crash Television.
Yeah. She said, sorry, Ken.
She did. I don't know who Ken is. I'm hoping that Ken Livingston is working as her sound engineer. I'd love to hear that.
I can't let him down. I've got to do this.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. She said...
she's become very intense.
Yeah.
Has she?
Adele.
Oh.
But that's twice. I've been on a few shows where they have a band come on at the end or a performer, and do a number.
Yeah.
Big name bands. They always have to do it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, what's going on?
So, I did think, what would happen if you and Alan tried that approach? Let's say you did your first 5, wasn't going well, and you suddenly said, look, I'm sorry, I've got to start again, I can't mess this up for him.
Yeah, I've got to get this right, and then did the same jokes again.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, how would that work?
Well, what you're describing there is an anxiety dream that I have at least once every 3 weeks.
Has a comic ever done that, do you think? Just started from scratch? What would happen if you did?
I did see it happen once. One of, arguably the funniest man I've ever known was a man called Roger Mann. And I saw him do a gig at a place called the Egg Club. And he did his opening bit, and if you can imagine the antithesis of warm-up, it was that. It went very badly. But as the night, because he was a more challenging type of stand-up, he didn't go down to them like I did. He raised them up.
Yeah.
To a strange place. But they started to warm to him later on. And so he said, he didn't like me before. He said, and then he did his first routine again because he thought now he'd won them over. And, you know the phrase déjà vu? Yeah, so he just, that bit died again.
Oh,
but such was the level of his comedy courage, might I say.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about the Grammys.
And Adele snapping the award was a happy accident, they claimed, which I'm glad to hear, because I think if she was doing it as a sort of a piece of kind of bravado of, I don't deserve this award, but I'm going to give half of it away, I worry about moments like that, because what if she'd tried to snap it and then just... like it bent and it's actually made of slightly firmer metal. Yeah. And then she just gets bogged down in one of those long
and
twisted...
Does it have a His Master's Voice gramophone on it? Is that what...
Well, how did she break? Did she break the bass off the...
Well, this is what I'm thinking.
And who gets what part?
I don't give Beyonce a wooden plinth.
I mean, the thing is, I'm going to say something very unpopular here.
There was a plinth tribute, I've heard. That's what Chris Eubank told me.
This Beyonce thing, I find it a bit over the top.
Yeah, mate.
I mean, I know you're not allowed to say this, and already I can feel the tension in this room with these women. But She's okay.
That's me and you that she's talking about there, Frank.
Yeah. She's okay, isn't she? She's fine.
She's all right.
She's had a few good, I love that Crazy in Love one a few years ago.
Yeah, I like all the single ladies. I like that.
That's good.
But it's like this whole...
I like all the single ladies.
I know, but it's over the top now.
But what happens on tour stays on tour, yeah?
It's over the top, this Lemonade one, which was basically saying... an ode
it have
to
any
a cheetah.
sterilised milk in
It was about how you should stay with a cheetah.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it? Who wrote it, Tarzan? Yeah, the same old excuse. I know you love me. Okay, you can come back. We'll try again. So,
he's waited a long time to be in the charts, Cheetah.
Yes.
Finally had his moment. Anyway,
that was from Tarzan and the Regrafted Relationship. It's a beautiful film. I cried.
Didn't like the remake, though, did we?
Oh, no. It didn't work with the rhino.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
She said, Adele, I want you to be my mommy. And she said, I love you. I mean, calm down, everyone.
We've all got, we're all fans of people, but, she's not Gandhi. Let's face it.
Not who?
Gandhi.
I thought that's what you'd said.
Yeah, no, she's not. It was just a bit too heartfelt.
She's not even David Gandhi.
No. It was too heartfelt for me. I mean, to be honest... If you're going to put a gun to my head, do I think either of them made the album of the year? Almost certainly not. No.
Who would you give it to?
I think probably PJ Harvey.
Okay. Oh yes, you like that one, Frank.
Oh yes, but they don't get the awards. Those sort of people, they like the easy access. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was so heartfelt. You've changed my life. You've empowered all my etc. And there was I did think, and I respect Adele. I saw Adele sing live at the Brits last year, and she's very, it's not my cup of char, but very talented. But I do wish, when she was doing that heartfelt, I love you, you're my life, all my friends love you, that you'd cut to the woman she's talking to and she'd have said, I'm Fleur East. Beyonce's sitting over there. That would have been such a great moment. Oh, you couldn't come back from that, could you?
No.
That would have been microphone on the piano strings times 10.
Yeah.
I'm Fleur East. Eh? I said I'm Fleur East. From X Factor. Anyway,
what about Chance the Rapper?
I like Chance.
So he had his. Are you familiar with his work?
I'm not massively.
Is it Colouring Book, the album?
We asking our young representative.
Yeah, they know these things.
More infantilising.
He follows the Nazarene.
He does.
Does he?
Well,
does he follow the Nazarene? He
closed his speech. Glory be to God. Let's go.
Glory be to God.
That.
He did.
Did he mean let's go though? Was he putting his coat on at that point?
I think he was off to the promised land.
He was, yeah.
He might have been going to visit the balm in Gilead.
He said he claimed this victory in the name of the Lord.
There you go, fair enough. He's my kind of guy, Chance. Yeah. He didn't put it down to chance.
No.
He put it down to divine intervention. I respect him for that. I might have a listen to his album. What's it called, Sarah?
Colouring Book.
Oh, yes, Colouring Book.
Bieber's on it, Frank.
Is he? Bieber?
And Kanye. All your friends.
God, they love it. They love it. Feet.
Oh, they love feet.
Feet Justin Bieber, feet Kanye West.
Yeah.
Feet. Too much. Too crowded in there. Imagine if CeeLo was in there as well.
I was no room for CeeLo. Singing that gold
tunic. Be like the Blitz. Be like in the underground on the Blitz. CeeLo in there.
Yeah.
Unexploded bomb is what he looked like on the night.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, yeah.
You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Don't text us today. We're not here. We're recording. We're actually broadcasting from Johannesburg.
We're phoning it in, aren't we? Phoning it in.
But we're not really. It's a pre-record. I apologise. But I'll tell you what did happen this week.
Oh, yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, it was interesting. I did perhaps the most uniquely Valentine's Day thing I think I've ever done.
Oh, yeah. Red roses?
Well, I certainly did that, but not... I tell you what's happened is that Kath has started getting me a dozen red roses as well.
That's nice, though. I think ladies should get roses for the men.
It was a bit... we got a house. We can't move for roses in our house.
Big house, though, isn't it? Just having in every room.
She bought me a card. This is how I got my one-upmanship, because we were level after the rose count.
Yeah. Same number each.
She bought me a card. I made her a card.
Oh, nice. Frank, good work.
I win.
Had you forgotten? Is that what happened?
No, I've really got into...
On the evening of the 13th,
did you do one of your drawings?
I did one of my drawings. To be honest, I've watched my child now. We had visitors come in the weekend, and he said, I'll make him a card. And he just does it. And I thought, that's the way to do it, isn't it? Make art part of your everyday life.
Well, he knows it's a crowd pleaser as well.
Oh, God, you can't go wrong. Whereas I find with adults, people can be quite critical. But no, the uniquely and quintessential, in a way, alternative Valentine's Day activities. We went out for a lovely meal, but on the way, we stopped off at the hospital reception to drop off Kath's heart monitor.
Oh.
So she was actually wearing a heart monitor on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Turns out she has got one.
That's good.
What a fool I've made of myself. I made a stance on that, but no, the evidence... No, she's all right, so don't worry. I know a lot of you at home were on the edge of your bean bags.
I should think.
Yeah.
Is there an edge to a bean bag?
It depends how it's sitting.
All right.
You can get an outer ridge on it, not unlike the Cornish pasty handle.
Well, if they're taut as well...
No one's taught nowadays.
Like the dogs we were discussing. Then they can be. But if there's just, all the white polystyrene balls...
Oh, yeah.
Those ones are slightly different.
Yeah.
I love a beanbag. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have any conventional furniture in our house. I'd just have the bags.
Mm-hmm.
We got a big beanbag in the kitchen. Love it.
You're a big Chesterfield fan as well.
I like a Chesterfield, but
I thought it was West Brom.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Lovely place, Chesterfield. Have you been there?
Probably.
Lovely tea rooms. So we went to quite a nice restaurant. In fact, it was so classy. What about this? A waiter dropped an enormous tray of food and drinks, and nobody applauded or cheered.
Oh, too posh.
I mean, that is sophistication gone crazy.
Yeah. Silence.
But it was lovely.
That.
I like a Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's just a little opportunity, isn't it?
Show you care, Frank.
I'm guessing Al did buy a card.
Yeah, we've never really done that.
When you say we, did you say, I'm not having Valentine's Day in this house?
Yeah, something like that.
Are those prices?
If you want.
I'm having naught to do with it.
No.
I said, see all here, all say now.
Love all, love nout. Yeah, that's how I'm fearing it's going. Well, I like it. I can't wait till next year. That isn't strictly true. At my age, that would be a reckless state of affairs.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
What's new?
Well, more appropriately, what's old?
Come on.
How dare you?
Dave Mitchell, 49, is
not old.
Is in the papers boasting. I'm going to say it, boasting that his Nokia 3310 mobile phone is the oldest in use in Britain. I don't know how he's checked this.
Remember them? 17 years old.
I
Had
don't.
it since 2000.
Is that a sort of... When I say the 3310 Nokia, do you think, those are the days? Do you
I immediately remember which
3310, I believe. Yeah, like the Motorola Flip. Yeah? No?
Not the Flip.
Just me, then.
It's not a catchy title, is it?
What,
The
3310?
3310?
Yeah.
No.
Frank, you had a 3310, I remember.
I did have a 3310.
Last year, I think.
I didn't know it was called a 3310.
Have you been calling it the 3310?
No, I think I used to call it my phone.
Consuming.
Yeah.
Who cares about? I mean, that's for the factory people.
You think so?
Well, you were one of them at one stage.
I know, but I mean, it's like, where'd you put the 3310s, Carl? They're on that pallet over there. It's not for the user. Who cares what the number?
What I enjoy
They
about
say your phone
Very good
number.
at recreating dialogue, isn't it? I mean, that was excellent.
But that's not what people mean when they say phone number. They mean like,
No, you're right.
who cares?
No, but what I liked about this story was that Dave Mitchell, 49,
Yeah.
there's a photograph that has been taken of him in order to illustrate how antiquated his phone is. And in order to do this, they've shown him holding up his phone next to an iPhone, scratching his head in a sort of silent movie approach to acting.
I love that.
It's like surprise, shock, confusion. He's only got the 5 emotions. But I
It's
like
always
that.
been one of my favourite things. In local press, they used to do it a lot. Just assume that people can't read or haven't got time. So the one that always sticks in my mind was that a bloke was leaving a tube factory after 50 years or whatever, and they had a picture of him, and he was standing outside a factory holding up a tube, and then there was a group of people waving to him. I mean, all right, we get it. We get what happened in that bloke's life. This is Can I tell you something? This reminds me of... I interviewed the well-known popular comedian and singer Max Bygraves, no longer with us.
Oh, yeah.
And, ironically, I suppose that's nominative determinism. He said, look, Frank, I've written a few gags, if you just give me the feed lines. And I said, OK. So it was his birthday. He was 80 or something.
Was this on your chat show?
Yeah, and I tell you what it was. Do you remember when Judy Finnegan's top fell down
Yes,
at some
I do.
award
Yes.
ceremony and revealed
National
a
TV
big
Awards.
white brassiere?
Yes.
Well, it was just after that, so Max obviously thought he'd do a bit of topical stuff. So he said, I got a present from that, and I'm on the edge of my seat trying to feed him the thing. Because I said, what did you get for your birthday, Max? This is handwritten script. I've still got it, blue biro, lined paper.
God love him.
And he said, I got a present from that Judith Finnegan, which no one's ever called her before. He said she bought me 2 of those, and I said, mobile phones? As if I could have possibly guessed that in a million years, like a Darren Brown show. He said, yeah, she bought me 2. What a lovely pair of Nokias, he said. And that was his gag. And another one he did, he said, I got a comb from William Hague.
Right.
Because William Hague is bald.
Famously hadn't had the hair transplant, yeah.
But, I mean, you can it's all right to get a comb from someone who's bald. They're not giving you their comb. They're not re-gifting.
Yeah.
You just go to a shop.
You know.
This is what I should have said. But Max, the thing is with that, is, you know, I don't drive a motorbike, but I could buy you one. That'd be fun. No, but I'm just saying, no, but listen, hear me out. So a bald man could go and buy a comb. Yes, but no, listen. You know, there wouldn't be any restriction. I should have done that, but,
no, you shouldn't have.
He may have fallen to his knees in tears, and looking back would have been great television.
It would, yeah.
Anyway, God bless him.
Frank Skinner on the radio.
Another thing he said, this character...
Max Bygraves?
No, Dave, what did he used to say? I want to tell you a story.
He did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And did he?
He told a story. Look, there were basic narratives.
Okay. Dave Mitchell...
Dave Mitchell, 49.
Oh, yeah.
He uses the word, and I don't think the word means what he thinks it means.
Oh, really?
Because he says at one point he likes playing Snake on the phone.
Yeah.
Snake 2, I think he likes.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he? Okay.
I don't remember. This is another sequel in which the snake talks. I think Michael J. Fox does
Snake's
that.
on the phone, the less successful sequel.
I'm not familiar with either Snake or its
You didn't play Snake?
sequel. No, I don't know. What is it?
Well, this was a feature of the Nokia 3310 that some people did not know about. So some people like yourself had that phone and never ever
Played
knew
Snake.
the joys of playing Snake.
I didn't know it was on there.
It was really a trailblazer in
Yeah.
phone-based
It's like
gaming.
Tetris. Yeah.
I thought it was the sequel to that big Adam and Eve movie they made in the 80s, Snake 2.
Yeah, Snake was popular, wasn't it?
Well, can you give me, is it possible to paint a brief picture of what happened? Was there a snake?
There was a snake.
Alan, what happens? Like, there's a narrative attached to it.
If you imagine your phone screen with the numbers.
I can imagine that.
So the top, middle, right, bottom and left. I'm
worried now that people at home are switching off.
They would be your directions for the snake. So, for example, if you wanted the snake to go right, you would press number 3.
What was its preferred destination? What was it after?
It would just keep going forward.
What does the snake want?
Well, what it doesn't want, Frank, in the game, it doesn't want to eat itself. So you have to turn the snake around and it would
you have to
travel,
stop it eating itself.
And it gets bigger as it's going around. It's what happened to your dad.
Yeah. Haven't you read my book, Pop Will Eat Itself?
Oh, very good.
No, I'd never heard the snake.
Fun games.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, he says his needs are basic.
I like that.
And he likes playing Snake. He's bored. I think he meant the phone.
Yeah.
He said, though, at that point, he then said, this phone is made of kryptonite.
Yes.
And he took that to mean it's very strong.
Indestructible.
But I think kryptonite is an Achilles heel. It means a weakness. Because the only people that get affected by kryptonite is a very small demographic. It's people from the planet Krypton.
Yes.
So it doesn't mean it's strong.
No.
If you say that's my kryptonite, you mean that's my weakness.
It's a good question, that, because the people from Krypton, because of the red sun that they grow up under.
Lovely knowledge, Frank, I knew you
when they're under the yellow sun of Earth, they develop superpowers. But you'd think that the rock from Krypton would also become unbreakable. But there's lots of examples of people making, like, kryptonite arrowheads and kryptonite bullets and stuff.
I would say when someone says kryptonite, it's my kryptonite, I see that as a weakness.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's like sort of a bit of my nemesis.
I'll tell you what I'm here.
I'll tell you what I was worried about with, the comedy photos you're talking about, with him scratching his head and pulling a face and showing his old phone.
Yeah.
I didn't like that because, I don't know if you noticed it, they're monumental masons, Dave.
Noticed it was all over their polo shirts, which are right in the forefront of the picture.
But more worryingly, there was a work-in-progress tombstone behind them.
Was there?
Which you could clearly read the names of the dead on it.
Spoiler alert.
And I thought...
Is that the problem?
I mean, I love a bit of context in any press picture, but I just thought... If these were my family, I don't know if I'd want them as a comedy backdrop.
No.
Monumental Masons since 1843.
Yes. Oh, he had a digital clock on his phone. Yeah, it was. I wish that just put a cover over the stones. That's next time the press are around. I'm sure they'll be back.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I will say this, I do have a slight suspicion about this Nokia 3310 story, because no sooner was Dave Mitchell 49 in the press saying that his phone has lasted him 17 years, but now I'm hearing from my sources, as they said on the news, I'm hearing that Nokia are considering re-releasing the 3310, like a basic phone. It's just a phone.
Yeah.
No emails.
Too much of a coincidence, you think?
Snake 2. Will it still be Snake 2? Maybe it'll be like Snake 47 or whatever it is.
What else do you get on it? Texts?
I think so, yeah.
The calculator?
Snake 2. Oh, yeah, you always get a calculator.
I don't think I couldn't live without a calculator.
I mean, could you go back...
I've used one about 5 times since I've had a smartphone.
Could you go back to predictive text, though, after the iPhone or whatever system you're on?
It's going to cost £50.
What, is the text?
No,
the phone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what,
though.
I thought about the calculator recently. I just looked at it, because I was getting rid of some apps, and there's ones that you can't get rid of, they just live on the phone.
Yeah.
They're sort of internal.
Yes.
They've got squatters' rights.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of them was the calculator, and I thought I haven't used that for ages.
Newsstand. Never used Newsstand.
No, I do use.
You like Newsstand?
Yeah, I've got a Times Literary Supplement as one of mine.
Lovely for Newsstand. It's like 1950s, I like it.
And Poetry Magazine, which you never heard of, get your Poetry Magazine. No one ever did that.
No, not at all.
But I looked at my calculator, and my previous calculation was still on it. The answer, 231.
231.
I dated a bit.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah, I wonder what I was working out.
What
No
was
idea.
231?
Hang on, we're going back to Aladdin. Just give me a second. 231. I think you were adding 230
And one,
Yeah,
yes.
that's my guess.
Yeah, but I must have been calculating something
What was he
in my
working
life.
out for 231?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just email us the answer. No, I don't know what it was, but it did make me think I'd never, ever, ever use. I'll tell you what my problem is with this. I mean, I like the idea that it might be the rebooting of civilization, getting rid of the smartphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, the zombie children we mentioned earlier might be slightly close. I can't believe they're going to get lost in the world of Snake 2.
No.
No.
But you never know.
Safe with
Here's the thing I saw on the train. I saw earlier a millennial making calls on a phone. I didn't think
they
that
don't do
did
that often.
I very rarely make calls on my phone.
What about when you ring one of the millennials on the show and they don't answer? They think that's weird.
This girl made like 3 or 4 consecutive
Can't
calls
leave them
using
less-
her phone. Maybe
What
that's
about-
the next thing. Is that
What
they're
about
gonna
when
start using
people
their phone to
switch
phone?
medium now, when you phone
Oh, I don't
someone
know.
and they text you back? I mean, what a slap in the face that is.
I tell you what that is as well. What about when they ring you? Yeah, and then they text you afterwards, but sometimes I think they're checking up on you as well. Have you ever had when they text you, you don't answer, you don't respond, and then they ring you? I've had that.
Oh, have you? I do a bit of call screening and then text saying, I'm on the quiet coach, I can't really take your call right now. I do a bit of that.
And do you do it only when you're on the quiet coach?
Yes.
Oh, I've caught you out. That is so... Now, I'm wondering now, has he done that to me?
Yeah.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about Dave Mitchell, 49, and his old school phone.
He's not sensitive about his age.
Nokia 3310. And I was thinking about this because I think I'm more old school than new school, except one of the things about the mobile phone nowadays that I really like is getting emails. But I've recently changed car. I bought my mother-in-law's 11-year-old saloon car. And
Swinging doors?
What?
Swinging doors. I always felt saloon cars should have swinging doors and a pianist.
Yeah.
No, not quite, but it is old school. Like, if a kid drew a car, it would have like a boot and a bonnet. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an estate or a hatchback. It's a proper...
11 years old now, he's an old car.
No, I don't think it is. It's really
Well,
good.
has she got the old one then?
She's upgraded her car, and I've always admired her car, so I bought it off her. But anyway,
Lovely.
it has a 6-CD multi-changer.
Oh, I had one of those in my last car.
I
Yeah.
had one of those.
You have to think ahead, though. It's terrible when you think, oh, I'd love a bit of Buddy Holly. You haven't loaded him.
Exactly. Although it's not in the boot, it's in the front. The 6-CD
Oh,
multi-changer's
mine, you
right
see,
there.
mine was in the boot.
Me
Front
too.
loading. But it hasn't got...
Now I've just got Bluetooth telephony.
This is exactly what I mean. I'm old school because I'm listening to actual CDs. And I actually bought some old school house music on CD the other day. Like, Frankie Knuckles and old school, like, club anthems.
Frankie Knuckles, I forgot about
to
him.
play on my old school.
Do you know
6
Frankie
CD
Knuckles? No, but thanks for the tip.
But there was a strange moment when I drove the car and I went back to my in-laws' house, and because I've been listening to podcasts on my previous vehicle using an aux cable, the AUX.
Hashtag Orcs.
Well, this was the odd moment. I said to my wife, it hasn't got aux, meaning AUX, the cable.
And what did
she
she say?
heard it
Aux.
hasn't got aux, AWKS.
Oh.
And her cousin who was visiting thought I was talking about aux, ORKS.
Oh, I know, and all.
Why would I come back
That's
having
like
test-driven a 11-year-old car and gone,
Yeah.
oh, there's no aux in there?
Orcs are like those fantasy
I
creatures.
thought you were going to say something like, say, for example, it hadn't got ears,
Yeah.
and your visiting relative also hadn't got ears, and you
Yeah.
walked in having not seen him and said, it hasn't got any orc. I thought
That
that's
would
what
have
you...
made slightly more sense.
Yeah,
than
because
the
he wouldn't
idea
have
that-
heard you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
How did
What's
you...
he going to hear to that horrible pink hole thing at the side of his hate?
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's almost covered by sideburn.
That
He's not helping himself.
No.
That is the joy of him.
How do you listen to your music, Frank?
I play CDs in the car.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I find that
No Apple Music for you?
Well, I've got the... I can sort of plug my phone in, but it seems a bit hit and miss.
Okay.
It's all right I like the Big Finish CDs on the long drive.
Yeah.
The Sixth Doctor I'm ploughing into at the moment.
That's what I've heard.
You heard it here first.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Surely not. There must be some mistake.
I like a bit of old school. I follow the Nazarene.
That is old school.
Who I think predates the Nokia 3310.
Marginally, yeah.
You and
Snake
older.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the handkerchief, the hard copy handkerchief.
Love a hanky.
Yeah.
You see,
for my recent birthday, I had 10 different handkerchiefs bought me.
You kidding?
From different individuals?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be listening now.
Wow.
Sorry if you doubled up, loves.
No, they're all different designs. Okay. One of them's got a Cyberman on it. Imagine it.
I mean, how are you going to
Well, you can never have enough hankies. That's the point, I suppose.
No, I think you can. I think
no, Frankie Knuckles. he gets through half a dozen a week. No,
Dean Martin and the Rat Pack, they loved a hanky in the pocket.
No, I like...
That's a lot.
Keep it real with...
you're going to have to knock them together and do a magic act. That's the only way to
No one has ever bought me tissues. Ever. I mean, what kind of a present would that be? Somebody said, I've got you a nice packet of Andrex. I'd say, I'm Catholic. And they'd say, no, Andrex. It's not a nice prize, is it?
I've been bought, I don't know if I can be considered acceptable. I've been bought feminine hygiene products.
As a gift?
For a birthday?
Yeah. Amongst other things.
Oh, my goodness.
Amongst other things.
Really?
Yes.
I bet there were strings attached. I don't think this is as low as we've ever got, maybe. No, I don't think it is. Why should it be? We're fighting for sisters, and sisters are doing it for themselves.
To talk about
yes.
it. Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
These things happen.
We don't think we can get more old school than this.
I'll tell you what, I'm also old school in that I don't use a hairdryer. I use a towel turban.
Oh, I love a towel turban.
Do you like a towel turban?
I think the turban generally I used to like, when you get those Hollywood beauties and they've got the turban with a small jewel at the front.
Nice.
I've seen them with plumage. I mean, those ones, when you get plumage.
I'll keep that turban on for 2 to 3 hours.
It looks, my favourite picture of my partner is her sitting with an enormous white towel turban, reading Roald Dahl short stories.
That's lovely. I like the sound of that.
So it got everything.
Yeah, it's got it all, Frank.
Yeah. It is, though. I don't know why women don't go out in them.
I mean, you can keep your Dysons.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out where that came in, but yes. I thought you're casting a slur on the West Bromwich Albion defender.
No, I think it's about the hairdryers.
Yeah.
Towel versus hairdryer.
I haven't used a hairdryer. I've used one on my trousers. I haven't used one on my hair.
Why?
Well, if you're going out, you're wearing a light-coloured trouser.
Yes, I understand.
Sometimes,
I understand,
the birthmark, as we used to call it in the old days. Sorry, Ken. Anyway, I think we've reached that stage known as what they call it, the end. I think in radio parlance.
Really?
Wow. Radio parlance would be a very old-fashioned, old-school station. Anyway, hopefully hosted by Ray Parlance. Goodness knows, he needs the money. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back live next week. Okay, so bring on the feathers.
Hear the Frank Skinner Show as it happens. Saturday morning from 8 until 11 on 105.8 FM in London and the South East.